Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's romantic night out in New York is the talk of the town, but there's something wrong with that supper, because there is a detail from inside the Polo bar that drastically alters what fans believe they know about this couple. A detail that hasn't been discussed until now. Behind the smiles, the glitter, and those exquisitely matched costumes. This is where we reveal the stories they don't want you to see. So click subscribe. November 5th, 2025. The most well-known tight end in the NFL and the biggest pop artist in the world entered the Manhattan Polo Bar together. Fans chanting in the street, flashbulbs, and photographers. It appeared to be a normal celebrity dating night on the surface. Golden, carefree, and romantic. Taylor was dressed in baggy grey pants and a black off-the-shoulder sweater. The kind of appearance that exudes subtle richness. Travis wore dark green slacks and a black sweater to match her enthusiasm. Crisp, uncomplicated, yet oddly synchronized. Then the matching silver necklaces appeared. The media initially referred to it as twinning. However, Taylor Swift's twinning is never coincidental. She doesn't dress impulsively. Every accessory, every hue, and every detail constantly conveys a message. This is where the plot begins to take a different turn. Reporters outside missed something that happened inside the Polo Bar, but a few irate patrons did. The Polo Bar is not your typical eatery. It's a quiet stronghold for Manhattan's wealthy, a Ralph Lauren tradition. Inside, there are no cameras or loud music, just murmurs, transactions, and gems. In addition to being symbolic, it's the type of location Taylor's team books when she needs privacy. A staff worker who was serving their table that evening apparently saw something odd. Taylor requested access to the private gold room, a quiet area often designated for high-level visitors. Here's the twist. She didn't require seclusion. Everyone was already aware of their presence. That was ensured by the throng outside. So once inside, why stay hidden? Because something significant occurred in that room. As one insider said, something intimate as well as romantic. Taylor's engagement ring was more radiant than normal when they departed. They thought it was just the illumination. However, a witness claimed to have observed her carefully adjusting it, almost as if it were brand new. Fans began making the connections at that point. Was this supper a private celebration of something greater, or was it merely a public date? Let's discuss those silver necklaces and matching black jumpers. Black is a color associated with control, unity, and power. Silver. It represents honesty, introspection, and emotional bonding. When combined, they produce a visual code that serves as a non-verbal, discrete notification. Taylor has done this in the past. She wore a Kansas City red to the after-party of her AIS tour when she first announced her relationship with Travis. She was spotted wearing a gold dress, the color of victory, so black and silver, when rumors of their engagement began to circulate. That isn't arbitrary. That's a proclamation. It is the color palette of equality. At last, two halves are in harmony. They both wore it like armor that evening. Perhaps this was no dinner after all. Perhaps that was their first quiet practice for the upcoming event. A moment to signify the end of the couple's public persona and the beginning of their lifelong partnership. This is where it becomes even more fascinating. Kindred Lubeck created Taylor's engagement ring with a handmade brilliant cut diamond from an old mine, an antique shape renowned for its flawed beauty. It has smaller diamonds on either side and is set in etched yellow gold. However, there was one minor distinction that fans noted at that Polo Bar supper. It came with a thin, hitherto unseen silver band, just there, with no explanation or news statement. Zooming down on the pictures, jewelry experts speculate that it might be a prototype wedding band, something Taylor was testing, or even something Travis gave her as a private gift prior to the big day. The Polo Bar supper wasn't about fashion if that's the case. It was a pre-wedding custom, a symbolic affirmation prior to the formal one. Additionally, it would explain why Travis's jewelry matched hers, not as a fashion statement, but rather as a mirror, indicating that they were already donning emblems of their mutual dedication. This is something that most people overlook. The Polo Bar is more than just a dining establishment. It's a declaration of American royalty from Ralph Lauren. Taylor is skilled at playing that game, which is where power couples congregate when they want to be seen just enough. The Polo Bar encapsulates all that her next chapter is all about, from old money aesthetics to Kennedy-era grace. Classic, refined and thoughtful. It's the kind of environment where agreements are reached, partnerships are formed, and perceptions are revitalized. It wasn't a coincidence that place was chosen. Taylor is subtly stating, "This is my new era." The girl who wrote breakup songs is no longer there. The secret girlfriend, who was hiding amid the crowd, is no longer there. She is entering into a public partnership with one of the most well-known sports figures in America. And she's doing it in her own unique way, quietly, symbolically, and fashionably. One diner who was sitting close to their private room claimed that Taylor and Travis didn't dash to the car when they eventually left after supper. They stopped, he leaned in, she giggled, and their hands became even more tight. It wasn't a performance. They appeared to have reached a final decision during the break. There was something heavy in the air behind every love message and flash snap. So even though it didn't make headlines, it should have. The kind of relationship that seems more like fulfillment than infatuation. They had similar aims, rather than just identical clothes. This is the most telling aspect of all, but no one got it. Instead of walking in front of Travis as usual, Taylor's security detail followed him out of the Polo Bar. For her team, that is not regular procedure. Nearly all the time she is encircled. So why take a step back, due of the visual nature of the message? The security isn't Travis. He is the equal, the partner, and the guardian. A brief staged scene that conveyed all without the need for words. If you have followed Taylor's journey long enough, you are aware that she uses presence, positioning, order, and dance to communicate. Nothing is coincidental, from body language to stage formations. This was more than a dinner date. It was a proclamation. We are all in this together, equally, completely, and forever. Fans witnessed a meal. A fashion moment caught the attention of the media. However, it was a ceremony of change inside the Polo Bar, a subdued acknowledgement of the future, matrimony, harmony, and a new definition of celebrity. The game of concealing and disclosing is no longer played by Taylor and Travis. One symbolic dinner at a time, they are establishing their own regulations. The tale is important because of this, because what's actually taking place is a stealthy rewriting of what celebrity love looks like, while everyone else is observing the surface. The grins, the sweaters, the sparkle. Perhaps a ring or necklace isn't the only hidden feature that everyone overlooked. Perhaps it's because the world's most well-known couple recently celebrated their most intimate milestone in front of everyone. This is a legacy, not simply affection. And if this evening indeed signaled the beginning of their marriage, it will be remembered as the most subdued, yet impactful declaration they have ever made. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more articles that go beyond the headlines. If you saw that before anybody else did. Here at Kansas City, Chief Updates, we do more than just report the news. We interpret it.